Tommy.
How you doing, Andrea?
No, I am cold. It is a cold, cold day in the Chicagoland area. It is, what is
Is
it, -12 today?
well, without the wind chill, the computer says it's -8 right now. I believe with the wind chill, it's considered somewhere around like -15 or whatever. It's gonna be -30 with the wind chill tomorrow, and then it's supposed to get even worse the day after.
Yeah, but it's bright and sunny.
It is very bright and sunny. We got a lot of snow, so the sun's out, and I'd rather it be sunny and cold than dark and gray and all that. So
Yeah,
I
Tommy,
mean,
Tommy called me a couple days ago. He's like, did you see the weather? And you think we're going to be able to do this? I'm like, I'll be there.
yeah,
I'll be
yeah. I
there.
was like, I mean, we've got some in the bank that we could use, but
Yeah, no.
no, here
We
we
like
are.
keeping it fresh, keeping it real, doing the real time thing because, it's Sunday and this episode is going to drop in the morning tomorrow. So
Yeah. Well, how's your week been
it's good. It's been
before all
busy.
this?
It's been busy, and even the snow is always makes things more difficult. You add shoveling to your list, but we did get this really cool battery operated snowblower,
Oh yeah,
and I'm telling you that thing works. That thing was great because normally when Anthony's on shift, I'm the one shoveling, and
yeah.
so I was able to use this cool thing, and I was doing
Well,
my
it's
neighbors'
yeah,
driveways,
it's a fun new toy, and then you're like,
and then
hey,
you get cold.
yeah, and then you're like, hey, you want your driveway done? I'll come over and do it, and
Yeah,
just to be able to use it and stuff.
yeah, we did go out to dinner to a family style restaurant, an Italian place nearby, and we went with some friends and family, and
Hmm.
they did family style, so the portions are huge, and the food is just being passed constantly, and
Well, I mean, I've been to some of your family parties, and
yeah,
that's
we
always.
cook for an army,
I
don't we?
mean, well, every person comes in with like three aluminum trays of some sort of, pasta or breads or whatever. And then, and then God forbid if you don't try everything, did you have the ravioli?
Oh,
Have you had one of these yet? And I'm
8 times they ask you to make sure that
y-
you ate enough.
yeah,
Uh,
you're taking this home with you, right? Well, you're guilty of that too, because I go to your place and it's like no, you're taking some of
I
this
am
home.
guilty of
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
it's
when I make soup, I make it enough for everybody to have leftovers for days.
but well, so let me ask you, because you grew up around that, you know, and I've only experienced it so often, but I mean that's been more regular in your life. How do you, nowadays more than anything in your adult life, and now that you've found a healthier lifestyle and everything, how do you navigate a family sized situation like that where it's just huge portions and
You
everything?
know what? Yeah, when I was heavier, 100 pounds heavier, it didn't matter. I would just eat until I was stuffed, until
Right.
you wore the pants that they would stay up if you unbuttoned them
Yeah.
because that's what you did.
Well,
You
your
just
family never gave me an option. It was you're eating this.
yeah.
You're not leaving until so.
Italians think of it as a something bad if you don't eat the food
Yeah,
that they're offering
yeah,
you.
it's
It's
disrespectful. Yeah,
disrespectful.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I get it, but I'm like, but anyway,
Yeah,
so
but since my weight loss and losing weight, I did use a scale to measure my foods in the beginning so that I could eye them later on. But when dealing with, a restaurant, a family, any type of situation like that where food is just being shoved at you, you kind of have to go into your little toolbox and pull out some skills to keep you on track and keep you mindful of all the food that is being just tossed past your face. And so,
like, what do you?
so yeah, one of the great ways that I just kicked the microphone that he told me not to kick. I'm
It's
guilty of
okay.
that constantly. One of the ways that there are many skills that you can learn. In fact, that I'm writing a group coaching program that's coming out at the late spring, and it's going to be great. It's a 12-week program. It's going to be modules and
Mhm.
coaching and personal training sessions and stuff like that. And one of the modules in there are these skills to learn. So when you are out or out at a family function or just out anywhere where you're not going to bring your little handy dandy scale and measure
Right.
the food that they give you. So you want to be able to eye your plates. So I'm going to give you a few strategies that I had to use all at once to be able to stick to, eating healthy and still not offending anybody, right? You want to be able to eat the foods. When you go to a restaurant, you can customize your food. You could ask them to make it with no oil. You have the tools of boxing up half of it first. But when you're at a family function, you can't say, "Hey, Ma, can you give me a Tupperware?" And so I could box up half of what you're giving me. It just
Right.
doesn't work
Yeah.
like that. And you also can't tell her to not cook, with her normal cooking ingredients because she's making it to taste good for everybody.
Right.
So one of the ways is to grab a plate, and this is a really, really easy way to do this. Go through the buffet or the line or whatever it is and put everything on your plate. Anything that you want to eat, you have it on your plate. And if it fits on one layer of your plate, you're good. You know, I like to start with protein, right? I like to choose what protein I'm going
Yeah.
to have, and
That's
then I
where I
fill
would.
my plate around that.
Yeah.
But only eating what fits on your plate on one layer, no stacking,
Yeah.
is a no stacking at all, no cheating, is a really great way to reduce your calories in a very high calorie situation.
Yeah, I always start with, I mean, almost any meal that I'm going to make, whether it's at home or if I'm in a restaurant or whatever, I start with what's the protein.
Mm-hmm.
I go protein, vegetable, and then carb, and I
Mm-hmm.
eat it in that order too. So, without a scale, how do you go about deciding what an appropriate amount of whatever your protein is? It could be fish, it could be, meat or turkey or whatever. I mean, like, how would you go about?
Yeah, so a really great way to use it is to use the palm of your hand,
Okay.
not without the fingers.
Yes.
The act without the
You
fingers.
can't spread your fingers
You
all the way
can't spread
open.
your
Yeah.
fingers and draw that turkey around it. No,
Yeah.
no, you can't do that. You have to use
Draw the turkey around it.
you have to use the palm of your hand. But what's nice about that is it's customized to your body weight. Your palm of your hand is bigger than mine.
It's unique to, yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
specific
unique
to
to you.
your body.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. So it's a great way to eat the food that you love and still kind of keep it within a guideline.
Right. It's a consistent measurement,
It is.
because your hand's not going to change
And
size.
yeah, you don't have to take your hand out and put the piece of
No.
meat in your hand and make sure it
You could
measures.
just
Just eye it.
just eyeball it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same thing with the vegetables. Now, vegetables, you really don't have a limit with them unless they're laden with butters and crunchy things on it. So I like to say half of your plate, two handfuls of some type of vegetable, whether it's salad, if it's
Sure.
leafy, if it's
Yeah.
voluminous, if it's something like a broccoli, two good handfuls would be a great way to fill up that plate.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for your carb, uh, I mean, I guess the remainder of the plate would be about what you could use, but
Yeah, but a cupped handful of like a rice or a potato, a
right.
cupped handful is different than two big ass handfuls of
Yeah.
vegetables,
Yeah.
So you want to be mindful of that. And Tommy, you bring up a really great order of eating. Eating
Mhm.
your protein first, then your vegetables, then if you have room, your carb.
Exactly, and that's why I do it in that way, because the protein and the nutrients that you're gonna get out of your vegetables are the most important thing for your body.
Yeah. And if you're home and you're eyeing fats, uh, a thumb would be a good measurement for like an olive oil or something like that. But if you're at a restaurant or if you're at somewhere where someone cooked the food, I wouldn't worry about getting your fat in because you're probably already getting it in from the way they cooked.
Yeah, I wouldn't go looking for it.
No, don't go looking for the fat.
Right. I tell people, like, fat. You don't have to go looking for fat. It'll find you
It'll
on its
find you.
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not in that meal, it'll be in the next. If it's somewhere or another, you'll get it.
Yeah.
So
And then the third thing is, and I am so guilty of this. I am so guilty of this. I like to eat my food. If it's supposed to be hot, I want to eat it while it's hot. I mean, I don't want it cooling off.
yeah.
And I eat so fast, and I have to really be mindful of slowing down and chewing my food so that I could enjoy the tastes and the textures and all that. Um,
Well, and it's first of all, in all transparency, I am also just violently guilty of this. I am almost always the first person done eating,
Clean plate club. Hmm.
But uh, to what you're saying though, it's better for your digestive system to only be having to deal with a certain amount of food at a time rather than you just dumping your and filling your entire stomach up and then just letting it, trickle through like an hourglass. And then at that slower pace, it takes your body, from the time it gets down to your stomach and then, it sends the signals to your brain and everything. You'd be surprised that if you were able to pace yourself out more, that you will feel full sooner, or you'll feel full without eating as much food.
Right. It takes your brain 20 minutes to
Yeah,
realize that your stomach is full. So you have to kind of cheat the system by slowing down.
right.
Another great way is now you have your plate of food. You went and got all your food and it's on your plate. Divide it into fours. Divide it into quarters.
Hmm.
And now you have a plate of food with four portions, right?
Yeah.
Start with one portion, eat slowly. Make that take you 10 minutes if you can. Eat slowly, chew your food, pause for 5 minutes in between.
And take the time to taste your food too,
Yeah,
because honestly, it's again, I'm cheating myself by, gorging a
it's going to
meal.
be there.
Right. It's like I look forward to whatever this meal is or whatever. And then if I eat it in 5 minutes, I could have enjoyed the taste, the smell, just the experience a lot more if I just pace myself. So there's
And
so many benefits to doing it. But it's tough to fight that urge for me at least, to not just plow into.
yeah, eating mindfully really does decrease your caloric intake at that meal. So slowing down, having conversation. I mean, I try to use the rule of thumb is you're not going to have any food in your mouth if you're talking.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking, I'm not eating, and that forces me to slow down. So me, I have no problem talking.
Yeah.
So, but I end up eating my food anyway. So yeah, dividing into the fours, taking your time, slowing down in between those four portions would be a great way to enjoy your food and get through a party that is, it's hard. It's hard to navigate life when you are on a mission and
Yeah.
and you have to have your toolbox with you ready to pull things out at any time so that you can get through that that event.
Yeah, but
But
these are extra tools to put in that box now, as far as being able to visualize and gauge what your portions would be, so that I've had, so much of my protein, I've had so much of vegetables and carbs and stuff. I mean, vegetables, you're hard pressed to have too many vegetables, but
right.
but still, especially with the carbs and the protein, at least you'll know where you stand.
And here's the thing, using these strategies, you may not drop in weight that next day, right? Because you're eating
No,
food that's loaded with sodium and
yeah,
fats, and somebody else cooked it that may not have the same goals as you, and that's fine. You eat it anyway because you want to be able to navigate life. That's the difference between following a diet and having a lifestyle.
right. And sometimes it's just picking the lesser of two evils or whatever. If and you find just the best decision that you can make given what you've got available to you.
Right. But once you conquer that, that feeling is so good because you did it. You
Yeah,
won that situation. And then that snowball just keeps getting bigger and bigger because then you can win other situations with other tools, and you just become more confident
and
every time you.
it's finding what works for you. Yeah.
Right.
I have a client who loves going to this one diner for breakfast, and he's lost a lot of weight.
That's
He's
great.
lost about 40 pounds in the last year. But he still likes to go, and but what he does is, so he'll go and he'll get an egg white omelet, and he brings with low sodium bacon and has them cook it up for him. He says, "I'll pay for the bacon."
That is
And
so cool.
yeah, and they do it. He's been going there forever, so he knows everyone there and stuff. But he actually brings low sodium bacon with. He's like, "Charge me for the bacon, just cook it up, and I'm gonna eat that." And
They'll customize your food
yeah,
any way you want.
I mean, one of the things, in times when I've been like doing a severe diet, like for a bodybuilding show or something like that, you still got to go out to eat and things like that. And, I would be on a date or whatever. And you're hard pressed to find a restaurant that won't make you a chicken breast or two, just and some broccoli or and a side of potatoes or whatever like that. And I just we'd go to Fridays, we'd go to wherever. You go to Chili's, any of these restaurants. If you just say, "Hey, can you make me?" Yeah, they're going to be higher in sodium than the ones at home and stuff. But I can still go out and eat, and I know I'm getting a healthy meal out of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of places are pretty accommodating if you have any special requests like that, and it's really a lot of situations easier for them to do that than make whatever else they were going to make anyway.
Sure, they'd rather have structure
Yeah.
sometimes. uh, so I encourage you all to try a couple of those strategies. Filling your plate only one layer. That's what you eat. You'll be okay if you do practice that. Um, Dividing and conquering your plate, splitting that meal into 4 sections and eating slowly, taking the time to taste your food, feel the texture, feel the spices. I mean, food's incredible. There's so many layers to it that
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, exactly. Like just enjoy the experience, and
enjoy the
that's
experience.
that's something that I need to work on. So
Yeah, me too. But I encourage everybody to share these strategies, practice them when you do go to a restaurant. Pull them out, see how it is, see how you feel doing them, see how your body reacts, see if you're at the point. Let me back up. If you use these strategies, you will not be at the point
right,
to unbuttoning your pants.
yeah, absolutely.
So I encourage everybody to like and share this podcast with friends and family. I encourage you to write us, contact us, send us videos, send us criticism, anything that you want. Interact with us on the Facebook
Yeah,
group.
we love hearing from you. I'm always excited to see a new comment or a message come through on our Facebook page. So just know that if you reach out, we are watching and we are looking and we are reading them. So let's grow this community and just keep having fun with this. So well, it's I'm gonna get you out of here before your car freezes and you can't leave.
I appreciate
So,
that.
but thank you everybody once again for tuning in and listening to the Trippy Coaching Podcast. As always, I have been who else but Tommy else.
And I am Andrea Trippi. And until the next time, here's to a healthier, more confident you.
The Trippy Coaching Podcast is produced and mixed by me. Who else but Tommy else? Theme song provided by Professor Click. Be sure and check him out at professorclick.com. All one word, KLIQ.com. The content provided in the Trippy Coaching Podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical, health, wellness advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition.